Since 2022, the game industry has had record numbers of layoffs, with up to 41% of all developers being impacted in one way or another. Hi, it's me, the 41%. In July of 2024, I was caught up in the growing tsunami of layoffs. Since then, I have applied to hundreds of jobs with only 2 interviews and 0 offers. Cost of living is going up, remote work is getting increasingly more scarce, and I can't relocate because that would put me further away from my family. I picked up some contract work thanks to my own boss, but that couldn't last. I took steps to try to make myself more marketable, from brushing up on project management to actually taking a marketing course and getting certified. But I've got nothing to show for it. So I decided to follow my dreams, and I have a year to make them come true. You may already know me, but allow me to stand on ceremony and reintroduce myself nonetheless. My name is Amaiguri, and I am a indie content creator starting today. Oh, I feel so weird saying that. Honestly, okay, this legitimately took like 3 crash outs to get here, and I still don't even know if I'm gonna make it to the end. I actually wanted to be this type of multi-hyphenate sort of creator since forever ago. When I was in middle school, my friends and I would write letters to each other about what was happening in our fantasy worlds and do art and dress up and all that stuff, and we called these letters the world letters. We would have these fantasy themed world sleepovers where we'd talk about dragons and run around the park and do art together and dress up, and I'd always dream of the day when we could share these worlds with the larger world, where we'd have animations and music and themed restaurants and fancier costumes, because they were our worlds. It was so special to me. My most recent world began in summer of 2018, inspired by anime like Made in Abyss and Violet Evergarden, as well as the first 5 seasons of Game of Thrones. Ysaia is a fantasy political drama about the geopolitics of magic and bunny-eared demons. It follows Arliser, a magical burned assassin lady who's trying to find new meaning in life now that the war is over and there's a little bit less assassinating to be doing. Over the last 7 years, I've written over 300,000 words of this story. I have developed histories and cultures and ecologies. I made a whole documentary about the ecology in Ysaia from the perspective of someone in Ysaia. I have 12 different languages and videos about all of them on the channel. I have a whole history of theater that I wrote just to create one opera that I wrote, recorded, and filmed. A fictional opera for a fictional setting. And of course, I commissioned a Vtuber of my protagonist. But I'm working on the biggest part yet, a game for Ysaia. So obviously after middle school, I went on to become a game developer. I went to college for it, I worked at some companies, and I can't complain about that. It's a dream, it's really a dream job, and the stability, or relative stability, that it offers me is something that I'm not, like, at all. I'm deeply grateful for it, honestly. And I think it's easy to be like,
wow, why didn't you just go get a real job?
And this rhetorical got 'em question honestly makes me feel kind of guilty for, pursuing a dream job like working in video games. And there's so much going on in the world, and I'm just out here making silly little games, and who am I to complain about being unemployed when I'm living the dream? But I mean, there's a longer answer to this question, but the short answer is the reason I went into games is because I wanted to make games. I like making these fantasy worlds and stuff, and I like eating and health insurance too. Despite, however, all of that, the game industry in the West just isn't growing like it used to be, and I can't reasonably compete for a job when everyone's laid off, so I can't compete with the people who've been in the industry for 20 years, let alone the hundreds of people who've been in the industry for 20 years, right? Surely employers are gonna jive with one of those hundreds of people who have been in the game industry for 20 years. So if I want to keep doing this, I have to start it from scratch myself. Financially, I've saved up enough that I can afford to work just part-time, 16, 24 hours a week, and then do this full-time on top of it, if 40 hours a week counts as full-time. And so calculating it out, I can probably survive on $1,000 a month for basically a year before I will be broke. This means I have to somehow finish the story, the art, the game, of course, and also all the other tech that you don't care about to make the game run. I have to market the whole thing to people so that they will play it, and I have to build enough of a community that I can continue to live off of the earnings from said game after launch. And I have to do all that in 1 year. Hello, Editing Bell here. I figured since you are all stakeholders in this project now, that you would probably want to know, what am I actually doing? What is the actual plan? So let's cut in with more specifics, shall we? Firstly, by the end of May, I want to have a teaser trailer for the game, and as well as a Steam page and an itch.io page, as well as, at the very least, the first part of the story to beta readers, and I need to finish editing the second part. I want to make a cutscene that'll play as a reward for one of the, world quests. Oh, make this production schedule? What do you know? I actually already did that. And then I want to hire two consultants for sensitivity reasons. One, I'd like to hire a black sensitivity consultant, and I'd also like to hire a deaf consultant, basically because our listener uses sign language, and I have a couple of questions about that. And I also have a lot of black characters, and I'm not black, so I just figured I should check in and ask, especially since this is a secondary world fantasy, and so since you don't have those sort of real world structures, it's a little bit more difficult to know what would be taboo or not, Then, by August 14th of this year, I want all the edits for the story to be done. That is part 3 as well. I want all the world backgrounds to be done. I want most of the visual novel art to either be done or to be on the cutting room floor. I also want to do basic tech implementations of all the major puzzles. This is just to say, when you complete the steps of the puzzle, there's a little thing that says the puzzle, you completed it, right? There's something that registers them. And then I want to make one of my friends playtest it just to see how we're doing so far. By the end of the year, I want the script to be finalized, so that means back from beta testers ideally. I want all the critical art drafted, even if it will be open to tweaks. Oh, and also I want to finish the world tech. All the tech for the puzzles, I want that to be in 100%, as opposed to the sort of 0.5% it would be in August. And the reason behind this is that the world puzzles support the story, but you could probably have a video game that was just the puzzles, right? In the same way that you could have a video game that was just the combat in Baldur's Gate 3, right? And it would be way worse, but that is a video game that would appeal to people. So so if I finish that, then if I don't finish all of the world story stuff, all of the story elements, so what at the very least I can release is the world and the early parts of the story into early access, and then as I put in more elements of the story, can be sort of like a continual updated game with the story. And now there's always new content for you that's already pre-drafted and stuff. It's just a matter of implementation. So that would be really nice. And then by February, that's the end of winter next year, I want to have all of Arc 1 in. By the end of May, I want to have all of Arc 2 in. I will maybe be farther along with Arc 3. I don't know how long cutscenes are going to take me yet, so it's really difficult to make these sort of long-term milestone plans, but I'd like at least all of Arc 2 in, and then we'll see where we are in Arc 3. Alternatively, I then release Arc 3 as free DLC whenever Arc 3 is done. So yeah, that's the plan. Honestly, the only reason I can do this is because I'm really fortunate to have parents and a fiance with an adult job, and, really wonderful people that are in my life, wonderful, intelligent, driven friends who are all so ambitious. They push me to do my best too. And I have wonderful mentors who advise me. I mean, shout out to Matt Muth, the editor-in-chief at the Pacifica Literary Review, and Parker Davis from Here Touch Media. These people are really the people who I can lean on to make this happen. And of course, I have you guys, my wonderful parasocial darlings. Because, despite the title of this video, I probably could bootstrap my way into some kind of job, but I have this one life, so I want to live it. I want to spend it doing the things I love doing and not just hating my job or whatever. I want to make art and write and tell stories and develop these worlds, and if I have to eat beans and rice for a year to try to rebuild my life into this like dream version of itself, then maybe it's worth it. Or, you know, maybe it's not. I don't know. I know you probably want me to project confidence and stuff for these kinds of videos, but like, I'm not actually like a productivity or finance guru here on YouTube. I don't know I don't know anything about like tax loopholes. I barely know what capital gains tax are. As proven this morning when my fiance had explained it to me. So I don't know anything about investments. I don't know how I'm going to become a millionaire. So yeah, I know I'm a certified marketing person now, but I also don't know what my unique selling point is or whatever. Because there's hundreds and thousands of dreamers just like me. Maybe I won't be in the 1% who makes it. Maybe I'll just be another cringe YouTuber who makes weird videos in her bathtub. I don't care. I'm going for it. Because I don't think there's anything that I can contribute better to this world than making these fantasy worlds that let you practice all these big ideas and practice the difficult emotions that we all face in our real world. The sort of, like, I know it's really easy to throw out buzzwords like systemic oppression and all that, but everyone doesn't have the same starting point in our world. I don't know, maybe that was too honest. I think one of the reasons I want to do this is because fantasy worlds aren't just a place where you escape. They're a place where you practice difficult emotions. They're a place where you explore alien ideas. Because it's safe in a fantasy world. You can do anything. It doesn't impact the real world. But once you practice it in this fantasy world, in this safe setting where you can get redos, where it's not real, where you don't have to do the difficult parts, then you're better equipped to handle making the real world a better place. So if I can make these worlds that, you know, touch your heart like that, then that probably makes it all worth it to me. I'm willing to roll the dice on making that happen. So, on this channel, I'll be making new videos every month on the 14th, showcasing my fantasy world, as well as analyzing our own. And if you want to load the dice in my favor, or if you just want to find out if I'm going to be a total cringe girl failure in a year, honestly, the best thing you can possibly do is just watch another video on the channel. I have done so much research into this, but watch time, still king on YouTube. Alternatively, if you want to go really crazy, you can buy me a Ko-fi. It's like a Patreon, but a different company. Or you could even commission me to help you in your personal journey. I do critiques, editing, consultations, you know, art, the whole thing, the usual shebang. You know how it goes. Yeah, so will I somehow make it back to financial security without losing my mind or selling my feet pics? Who knows? Stick around to find out. And I will see you back here on the 14th. And bunny-eared demons. Now let's say that better.